Well, hello there, everyone. It's quarter-final time, Stone Circle tournament again, and this time we're against Beewee, who is currently, I think, on the podium, so going to be a tough match like the last few again. But this one goes a bit weird, which you'll see as it goes on. But anyway, I start off, I get rid of Tigra, Hood, and Guardian because at first I'm looking towards Dark Phoenix as being one of my most annoying champions. But, well, Dark Phoenix is refusing to show up for me for most of this match. So that doesn't really go well. But anyway, he starts with Serpent, and I instantly get 2 good counters, so really good start for me. He's banned out Thanos, Onslaught, and Weapon X. Just banned 3 rank 4s that he doesn't have, which is fair. So he grabs his Shathra and his Starkey, and I get my Serpent straight away. Even though he does have Shathra, I know that in this meta, Kushala is way faster than Shathra for Serpent. So he gets his phone, and again, I get a counter straight away in Crossbones. Still getting used to him, but hey, Crossbones is still him. And he does indeed get that Dark Phoenix. Great champion. Very well balanced. He also gets Kushala, so he can do Serpent as quick as me. And last pick, I wasn't really sure who to take, but I did end up deciding on Killmonger because Killmonger has been randomly very good for me this matter. I think it's probably just because you're wanting to debuff him, but obviously it's Killmonger, so you don't want to debuff him, so I don't know, he's been a bit trippy and a bit slow. So he starts out with Photon, so I put down Killmonger, who I think is probably my strongest defender. He goes with Shathra, I go with Crossbones, pretty usual matchups, and this matchup went fine, but AI really did not want me to have a good time here, so I start off, because my Crossbones isn't awakened, I need to get that overdrive on instantly, so that she doesn't debuff me to death, because I can't purify them. Start off SB1, and now I'm just trying to get a heavy out of her, and yeah, she is just throwing full combos and refusing. Eventually throws one when I have no Furies left, because Photon is nice. Get an SB1 off, get my Furies back up, and I use the Relic into the heavy because it's just one of the only guaranteed ways you can get it. SB2 decks, and unlike my mini, I do actually have the Black Widow Relic on this account, so I am getting a lot of extra Furies from the crits. Another SB1, I use it to get my overdrive up, and then I just finish her off. Not that fast, really, and some health loss, so yeah, that's what I threw that up because I thought he was just about going to beat me, but I don't know, AI is really dodgy at the moment, especially if you want them to do something. I've noticed it with Chi as well, because she's another heavy counter them type champion, and the amount of champions throwing full 5-hit combos into the block is insane. It's just, it's like, it's more often that they throw the full combo than they don't, which is really weird, because it never used to be like that, but hey, Kabam never changes AI. So we do take that one because he took a decent amount of damage with Shathra, Killmonger being the GOAT. So now I put my Photon down. He puts the Phoenix down, which was probably the best move because if I make any mistake here, I'm losing a lot of health and Starkey will come out better. But I actually have a pretty good fight here. I'm getting more used to Spiral against Phoenix. There's like certain little bits to try and make sure she doesn't throw random specials. And then, even though she does have, no, it's not power steal immunity, she reduces it. You still can power steal a bit, which, if you're wanting to spam SB1 to Spiral, that is perfectly fine. Sometimes with Spiral you can get too much power, but not in this matchup. So yeah, dodge the SB2, throw a couple hits straight to my SB1 so that I don't get overflamed. And now we've got 24 ruptures up, we're basically at max fervor. another full hit combo into my block, thanks Kabam. And yeah, she is ticking down quite nicely now. I bait out another SB2 so I can counter straight away my SB1. No Nova Flame for me, thank you. And then at this point I see that she's ticking out, so I dash back, wait for her to dash in, rubble the immortality, and we take that dub. Pretty close, but we do take them. So straight into the next game. This was a fast tourney match. Like, there was no like breathing room. It was straight out, straight in type thing. Okay, so yeah, why did I switch my ban up there? What did I originally have? I can't remember what I originally had, but then I realised Guardian is very annoying. So I decided to get rid of him. So we start off, Ant-Man the Goat, Weapon X, and Bullseye. He has just Shuri and Titania. He picks his Shathra up again, but then, yeah, he was thinking against it, but he did take Shathra and Venom. I get my Serpent again. And this will be a common theme of this tournament. I got some pretty devious outdrafts, to be honest. I essentially just had to execute my fights, and it was a dub. He gets his Phoenix again, though, which is always great fun, and Atuma. But yeah, then I look at this and I'm like, this is not good. This is like not the champs that I wanted at all out of this. So I do a reroll, get most of the same champs again because Kabam's funny, but we do get Shathra, who I am getting a bit better with. I'm still not insane, but you know, we're starting to use the champion a bit more proficiently. Which, you know, is probably good seeing as I've had her for about 6 months now, but anyway, moving on. So he gets his Okoye last ditch. Good for Bullseye. Can Okoye lock my Serpent if he wants? So, yeah, I start off a bit weird here. I'm not really sure why I did it. I start off with the Enchantress to try and get his Titania out of the way, but then he put down Shuri, and I decided I can take this round with Future Ant-Man if I get some good intercepts. Because the one thing I don't like about Future Ant-Man's light attack is if the defender does the stupid thing where they wait for half a second and then spam light attacks, they are going to catch you. And you're going to take either a lot of health, or in this meta with Future Ant-Man, you're going to stun lock yourself. Which is kind of funny when it happens, but it's also really sad. But no, she doesn't do anything funky. We get up to 10. Power detonation's on. I throw an SB1. And at this point, yeah, I wait out the entire detonation to get another disintegrate on them. And then I decide to bait out a special so that I don't have to do another SB1 and rotate. Because with Future Ant-Man, 2 disintegrates kills pretty much everything. At rank 3 at least. So I get to my SB2, bang bang, dead. One disintegration probably would have left her at like sub 10% health, but you know, just a secure, nice one. And we was faster, so we take round 1. Pretty good. Future Ant-Man is still really nice if they do not do any stupid light attack shenanigans. But remember, Kabam never changes AI, so why would they do that? Okay, so heading into the next round, I've got a pretty decent advantage here. He puts down his Phoenix, which, yeah, I didn't really like, so I put down my Serpent. And my plan was, oh, I'll just put Weapon X on defense round 3, and we should be chilling, because Weapon X has bleed resist. So it doesn't actually matter how good I do with Shathra here, but we do quite decent, by my standards. Shathra goats in the comments go away. So we start off, and we just don't want her to throw that SB1 at all, especially not without the atrophy not up. Get an SB1 off, and then try and bait an SB2. We eventually get it out of her, straight into another SB1. So the Nova Flame on us isn't doing too much damage. Yeah, she throws an SB1 side to side, dash back, and let's start charging. get a good SB2 off. She dashes back again, so I charge again. And she is already at her immortality. So I throw the relic. She does block it though, because that's fun. So I just have to SB1 to finish. I've seen better fights, but by my standards, 40-something seconds, 80% health with Shathra, that's pretty good. Especially because most of that damage was either the Nova Flame or some blocked hits. I didn't actually get clipped by her, which is nice. I did think I was going to lose this, though, because Shathra against Serpent's still a really good matchup. But, yeah, I'm not really sure what happened there. He must have just either taken an SB1 or just a generally bad fight. But, so we take that, 2-0. Going pretty smoothly. Oh, and as well, this is first to 4 now. It's best out of 7 because it's quarterfinals onwards. So, I stick with the same bands because they seem to be working pretty well. And he switches up. He goes for a lot of Mystic bands on top of my Mystic bands. So, Phoenix and Serpent should be very deadly with this combo. He gets that Phoenix straight away, and Spiral, which was like the one remaining good Mystic for those two champs. So I realised this is not great. He also gets his Serpent, and at this point I'm like, oh, this is really not good at all. He has two champions that I'm going to struggle to get a counter for, just because of the band set. So, yeah, this is not looking too good in this round. I do take Okoye because I was like, well, if all else fails, I can probably try and Okoye lock something. And I do take Titania because I've seen some people have good Titania versus Phoenix fights. I've never tried it myself before this match. So let's have a see. And thankfully, last ditch Spiral. We do have at least a counter for one of them. So he starts off with Phoenix again. My Phoenix still refusing to show up because, yay. So Phoenix shows up, we get the Zola down, because I was kind of, well, I wasn't throwing this round because I knew Titania could work, but I wanted to put a defender down that wasn't my strongest, but also wasn't my weakest, so that if I do get a good fight, I can actually win. And one good thing about Bewee's Phoenix is she is low sig, so the safeguard is at like 4-point-something%. So I can actually do some good damage before the SB3. Like you'll see, before I even throw the SB3, she's like a decent bit of the way down. Yeah, like, she's a third of the way down now. I wait until she taps me. But she decides to not tap me and SB3. This is fine though, because we've got our Haymaker active and we're going to SB3 to get another Haymaker. I do just about get heavy in for double Haymaker, so chuck that SB3. It gets rid of her safeguard, so now we do some pretty stupid damage. I go for a combo and the concussion fails her immortality. 49k versus Phoenix, we do take that. I did not think that was going to go anywhere near as well as it did. The failing the immortality with the concussion obviously is chance based, so that's just one of those things. But even in general, I didn't realise that my SB3 would get rid of her safeguard. So yeah, I was expecting to have to do my whole cycle and maybe get close to killing her with the red damage, but we had some overkill in that. So yeah, his Shuri v Zola fight isn't going too well, so we're 1-0 up in this one already. And now though, because of that matchup, I now have a serious outdraft. Pretty much any defender he puts down I can wipe with either Okoye, Spiral or Juggy. And I've got two really strong defenders against his deck of Thanos and Weapon Axe. So as long as I don't massively throw, this is a guaranteed dub now. So I'm debating who to start off with because, you know, like arguments for both. But I go with Weapon Axe because technically Spider-Ham can do Thanos well, but meh. It's one of those, it's an RNG fight. he puts down his Serpent, so I go straight in with Spiral to clean this up. He puts down his Spiral, which, I mean, it's an okay matchup, but it's not ideal, you know, there's not many buffs to Rubble. He has regen, and you can't reduce it with your Ruptures because Weapon X abilities. But yeah, we get a pretty decent start here. Serpent is playing really nice. We're already up to 15 further. So yeah, SB1, drop it. And yeah, that was the only annoying part, that random special when I'm blocking. But it doesn't matter, it took like 3% health because of inequity and low charges. But still one of those like, why are you throwing that? Just don't do that. So yeah, I get another SB1 off. And yeah, now he throws an SB1, which is actually good because I can willpower healing. I can get some willpower healing on that little bit of health I lost. So we are back up to full, and he is at 40%. So now, just kind of waiting around, throw another SB1 on dashback. He's now at 20%, and he has a hell of a lot of Ruptures on him. Throws another SB1, which is what I wanted him to do, just so I have some healing as the fight is ending. I throw an SB1. And now, he's at his 1%, I just hold block and wait for him to dash in, and he kills himself. So, that was slightly better than the first one, I believe. No, actually, that was about the same. Because of the random SB2. But anyway, guaranteed win. We're now 3-0 up, which is not how I expected this to go at all. I expected a really tough matchup, but to be honest, there's not much he could have done about this. Large outdrafts and a bit of RNG against Phoenix, so he essentially had no way to win these 3 rounds. But, you know, that stuff happens. It happens. In GC, I've been having similar kind of thing happen, so it's kind of nice that it turned around for once. So, we're just waiting for it to finish. He does have he finished with good health, actually, but just didn't have the damage to take him down. He was probably regenning way too much. So, now we go into the 4th round, and I just need one more now. He has to win 4 in a row to win, so feeling pretty comfortable, but obviously don't want this to get hectic at all. I just want this 4-0, done, easy win, move on to the semi-final. So, stick with the same bans. It's always been working out for us, so why switch? And he turns his bans back to what he used to. The Onslaught, the Enchantress, but he puts Photon in this time. Instead of Thanos, yeah. So yeah, we both start off with some pretty good Mystics, and he gets his Phoenix for a 4th game in a row, because yay. I still have not had sight of her. So I go with Killmonger the Goat again, because he has Shathra, but that didn't go too well last time. And we pick up the Titania for the Phoenix, and finally, in the very final match, we get ourselves a Phoenix. I'm debating who to pick, though, purely because that thing is going to be a bit problematic. I go with Kashala, but I do make some interesting plays in this match, which, to be honest, looking back, was definitely errors, but it worked out in the end, so can't really say much about that. So, Killmonger down round 1 was what I was going to do anyway. That's a fine placement. And then Phoenix here. I should have gone Titania. Not sure why I decided to Shathra that. I could have Shathraed the thing and been fine, because her red damage won't trigger his protection. But, you know, we decided to Shathra this, which is some guaranteed damage. But this fight does not go well at all for a couple of reasons. That's the first reason. SB1 and I can't get rid of the Nova in any way, so that's bad. And then I get pushed to SB2 from MD, and at this point I'm like, oh, this is bad. You know, I am not ramped with my SB1s. She's refusing to throw special. Nova's ticking me. Just generally a bad fight. It happens though. So we finally get an SB1 off. And at this point, I decided, script, let's go to the SB2. We've got some vulnerabilities on. I get an SB2 off. It does some decent damage. I then accidentally parry somehow, which is another theme of this stupid thing. I've been somehow parrying a lot. I get the SB2 off, and then I go straight into an SB1, and we just about kill before we tick out. So, hey, if that was an alliance war fight, that would have been a nice clutch, but we don't. We end up losing that because Black Cat versus Killmonger is a good matchup. So, we lose our first round of this entire match. Didn't think it'd take until round 4 for that to happen, but let's just see where we can take it from here. So he puts down his bullseye, and at this point I essentially have two decisions. Let me just wait until I make... Right, okay, yeah, so that was the one it was either put Red Skull or Phoenix down, and if I put Phoenix down, I juggy this. If I put Red Skull down, I Kashala this and Titania the Thing, which is possible. It's slow, but it's doable. But I decided to go with Red Skull and to try and outpace his Okoye, which I didn't think I'd do, but hey, it's possible. You know, this is one of them things that you could do if you get a good fight against Bullseye. So we get some intercepts off, get a parry off on the SB1, just have to dance around. And we get another intercept off, intercept again, and then straight into that SB2, sorry. Get the Soul Barb up, another SB1, and this fight is essentially dance around. Do I go for the heavy? I don't. I probably should have, but it doesn't really matter. I go into my SB1, get some really good incinerates off, and these incinerates will actually kill him, which is crazy. From 50%, he just dies. So I essentially just dash back, run away, get an intercept against the wall. We get out, and he took some health. So we are somehow still in this one. But final round is also not looking good for me. Titania versus Thing is doable, but Shathra versus Phoenix, as we saw earlier, is a decent matchup if you get it right. But it can also go wrong. Hint, hint. So I put the Phoenix down, he puts the Thing down. This is very obvious what we was both going to do here. And now it's just, how well can I do this thing? Which, I actually do it better than I expected. It did go a bit pear-shaped near the end, but the start was way nicer than I expected. So we get him up to 15 with the Haymaker, straight into that SB1. Love to see it. Full combo Relic into another full combo. He throws the SB2 straight away, which is also what I wanted him to do. Double medium him up to 15. And this is going perfectly. Back up to the SB3. I thought he'd dash in there, but he decided to not. But he did hold block, so get the Haymaker off, and this was a lot of damage. Protection didn't cap it until after it finished, so we then... I was going to go for a third, but this actually worked better for me. Him getting the intercept, the SB2 intercept off. I got some good hits in, but then he started to trigger protection. This is where it went a bit wonky. Some of my Furies fell off, so I'm back to normal damage. And that's one thing I mistimed. I thought the SB2 was one hit for some reason. Don't know why I thought that, but anyway. So then I dash back, and we do get a crit on that last hit, which is nice. And we do take the match. Surprising, but I did play that match very well. So we take the game 4-0 and move on to the semi-finals against MP, which should be up relatively soon. Probably within a day or so. So yeah, see you all later.